Welcome back, guys. Tell me in the comments down below, what's your favorite FOX-3 missile of the update? Now, today we're going to be talking about a flamethrower that basically works as APS, chaff, decoys, ECM from Walmart, and what else? Oh yeah, air-to-air missile, and an air-to-ground missile. That missile is called the Zuni, and we'll be talking about it, and basically you can use it as a decoy. So, I'll show you in this clip right here. So, this is the, I guess, APS test, right? APS from Walmart, APS from the Dollar Tree type of deal. You can see FOX-3's on me, and I just launch a bunch of these off, and I believe the range is 200 meters, so they don't kill me, and I'm subsonic as well, and I'm also able to damage him. Now, in these tests, we died many times in the F-111 and the F-14, so it's not foolproof, but it can work. But the cool thing about this is the F-14A also carries the Zunis. Actually, surprisingly, a few amount of aircraft actually carry the Zunis. The lowest BR being, I believe, the AH-1, the Sky Raider, the premium, or is it a premium? The vent vehicle. One with the toilet, the funny thing. That carries Zunis, so we'll have to test that in a future video. But you can see here we launch him, and it decoys off his AMRAM, which is pretty cool. And in a traditional sense, I guess I would be able to lock him and, you know, fire a missile. And you can see his other AMRAM went for other missiles. They track those instead of me. So you can see at relatively close ranges, it can spoof the missile, but most times it will not spoof the missile. So this is I wouldn't say it's very efficient. You kind of get lucky when it does work, and you have to shoot before they lock you, because you can still get hit if they lock you with like if they just hard lock you, it's still gonna kill you. But you can potentially proxy it, as you saw right there. We just launched a bunch of Zunis. They're big enough to where they proxied the FOX-3. Now, what we did in the flankers, we brought the rocket pods, and what I did is I launch on this guy, and I see that he's trying to get a launch on me, so what I do is I spoof his radar by launching a bunch of rockets at him, and there's not much he could do. And in this fight, you can see we get into a little dogfight, so I'm going to go do the same exact thing. You can see I launch off some of the rockets. Whatever that missile is, it's going for it, because you got to remember, IR missiles will also go for these rockets. Including radar missiles if the lock switches or if they're using TWS. If they hard lock you before you even shoot them, chances are it will still hit you, and that's why I was saying, like, they're very niche to use, but they can work. The Flanker's probably one of the better aircraft to carry rocket pods, just because you could carry a pretty decent amount of missiles still, even with the rocket pods, and it doesn't weigh down the aircraft too much, because once you use the rocket pods, they get dumped off anyway, so it's not a super big deal. But you can see here, I spoofed all their missiles. I lock him with the HMS and radar lock him, and launch an R-77, and it tracks just like butter. I mean, look at that. Honestly, I think I got lucky with that last missile, because that was just pure chaff. Now, I try this same tactic with the rocket pods on the F-16, and this carries more rocket pods, but you're going to carry less missiles. You'll carry 4 AIM-120s instead of, I believe the flanker could still carry, what, like 8, even with the rocket pods? But you can see we're launching them off. Not too many people even went high, so this could just be a spoof, maybe a 1 in a million chance. Because a lot of the matches I did have did not go this smoothly. These two are just the smooth matches. And I had to launch well before I even got to altitude. But when it works perfectly, it's pretty awesome. So you can see here, I launch a couple missiles to make his radar cluttered, and he's probably not even looking at me, to be honest, at this angle. And you can see we lock him and launch an AMRAM, and there's really nothing he can do. It's pretty much over. But the reason I launch the rockets is because in the scenario where he uses HMS, or if he pulls the nose back up, he's going to have rockets coming towards him, and it will likely lock those rockets instead of me. So you're spoofing the radar, essentially. Now, in terms of using this as a flamethrower, it really varies and depends on the type of aircraft you're using. The F-111 can get kills in a head-on with it. The only problem is you can't pull the wings back, and you can't go really fast and shoot them off, or it'll kill you. So a good pick would be the F4C or the F4F early, which is I believe an event vehicle that I got a while ago, and I was like, man, this jet's pretty much useless until now, of course, until Gaijin added the best missile in the game, the Zuni, of course. Now you might say, oh, why didn't you just use a 9B like you did on that guy, or why didn't you just gun him down? Because it's a flamethrower and it's cool. I mean, come on, it's cooler burning someone to death than just shooting a missile. I mean, that's boring. So you can see here, we're going to use the Zunis on the F4F. We climb to this Harrier, and he starts doing all of his fun maneuvers, his Cobras, his Top Gun movie, the Maverick moves, but it doesn't work, and it sets him ablaze. And the reason I call this thing the Flamethrower is because when they explode, they create a really huge fireball. But not only that, most of the time I use these, they just set people on fire. Like, they don't kill them instantly unless the missile is super close. It'll just set them on fire, which is pretty much a guaranteed kill, at least in War Thunder. The only problem with that is people will steal your kill because the guy is on fire or spinning out of control. So that is, I guess, a con to this weapon. You're just going to set people on fire like a flamethrower. But if you're not looking for kills and you just want to kind of laugh at people and be like, hey, look, I set your plane on fire with a Zuni rocket, then this is the missile to use. Not only that, at this BR, you can technically use these as countermeasures. So, like I said in the earlier clips, you can use it as chaff, but you can also use it as a, what is it, a infrared flare, right? Because it's a huge motor, they're relatively big missiles, and at this BR, I believe this is 10-3, most of the missiles will just go straight for the Zunis, which is really nice. But maybe you're not a Phantom guy, maybe you like more maneuverability, and this is when I bring in the T2. Now this is, in my opinion, probably the best 9.7 aircraft in the game, just because you can carry AIM-9Ps, which pull, I believe, 20 Gs, but you can also carry a Vulcan and a pulse Doppler radar, also with a Zuni rocket pod. So you get a lot of punch with this vehicle, and it's extremely maneuverable and extremely fast and has decent energy retention. So you can see I put the Zunis on, and at 200 meters it just tears the jet apart when you're going above Mach. So what I decided to do was set it to 300 meters, and that seems to work a lot better. Of course, this clip is still in the bad bracket of 200 meters. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now we are going to transition to the little montage bit of how well the T2 actually does with these Zuni pods. I hope you guys enjoy.